On the air here today to talk environmentally sound. We've got some great guests in studio here. Environmentally sound, brought to you by Mason County Garbage. I got Seth Elsen from the Salmon Center and Michael Burlette from Olympic Middle School. Good morning, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Good morning. To see you too. A little closer there, Mike. It's been a while since we've seen you guys in here. And what's going on? What are you guys talking about here today?
Yeah, well, I wanted to come by today and talk a little bit about some of our sub-grants that we're doing with a new EPA grant we received last fall. So some of you might have seen the story in the newspaper back in the Shelton Journal and Kitsap Sun last fall. We received a big environmental education grant from the EPA to help carry out a lot of field-based learning projects throughout the Hood Canal region. And as part of that, we're giving about $22,000 worth of sub-grants to educators over the next 2 years. And so we just wrapped up our first round of funding for that, and we awarded about $11,000 with a number of projects here in Mason County. So we awarded funds up to Sand Hill Elementary in Belfair to finish an outdoor classroom. We awarded some funding to the Hood Canal School District to do some water quality monitoring with the tribe throughout the Skokomish watershed. And then we've got 2 projects here in the Shelton School District, and brought Michael along today to talk about one we're really excited about to really help kids do kind of some more field learning and using technology in a pretty unique way.
Yeah, tell us about this. What do you got?
Well, I guess one of our biggest goals at Olympic Middle School in the science program is to incorporate hands-on learning and field-based experiences to get kids really hooked into what the science is about in the real world. And we've been working with the Capital Land Trust and studying about the restoration of the Bayshore property.
Yeah.
We've been out on a field trip already there once, sponsored by Capital Land Trust and PEI. And it's all about restoring a natural salmon habitat back to its original state. And in doing that, there's a lot of science that goes into it that isn't necessarily just salmon. Our students last time, we took measurements of the flow rate for the stream, and we looked at macroinvertebrates. But when Seth's grant opportunity rolled around, I thought about, how else could we complete the data picture around Bayshore? And so I did a little bit more research and found that Pacific Northwest Laboratories actually developed a small clip that uses a glass bead that you can clip onto any mobile device with a camera, and it turns it into a 350 power microscope.
Wow.
So
Wow.
These can be 3D printed for about 37 cents a piece. And so it's my goal to work with Seth's grant money to 3D print one of these for every student, at least in the middle school, to have in their pencil case as just another utility that they use. So they can use an amazingly high-powered microscope anywhere they are.
Cool.
That is awesome.
We're going to apply that to Bayshore. The other part of the grant involves the purchase of pocket labs. They're sensors that are about 2 inches by 1 inch squared, but they measure everything from temperature, humidity, air pressure. They measure light, and all these things function to help the salmon habitat be ideal. We don't have real-time data on that, and so this is what we'd like to get. The nice thing about that is the Pocket Labs connect directly to the Chromebooks, so the students can get data about Bayshore in real time.
Wow.
And if we connect multiple data points over time, we can see how the health is improving and what our efforts are, see if our efforts are making a difference there. Hopefully by next year, Pocket Labs will come out with their air quality monitoring sensor, which we will at some point mount to a drone.
Looks like a drone.
Yeah, look at that thing.
And this drone will be doing a flyover of the Bayshore property to take video of where different trees have been planted to increase shade along the stream, and check the growth of those trees and see if any work has been done on affecting the course of the stream itself. We'll be taking flyovers hopefully every 2 months or so we can compare the growth and the change in Bayshore over time, not only with data, but also with visuals, and hopefully kind of develop a nice presentation package for those who are interested.
That is pretty cool.
That is way
So
cool.
thank you, Seth, for
Yeah,
providing that
Technology
opportunity.
at its best,
It
right
really
there.
is.
it's such an awesome way to connect and mix the environment and our technology, and
And to bring the kids in, too. How exciting for them.
exactly, it's great that the students have access to technology, just having Chromebooks and things like that. And so with the clip-on microscope, as one example, it's just, I think it's one of the most unique projects we saw this time. And so we're excited with this.
Absolutely.
And late next year, now that we're into 2018 already. We'll be doing another round. So if any teachers are listening, we'll have about another $11,000 or $12,000 that we'll be looking to give away in grants for field-based learning stuff. So
I love
I
that.
think I really realized that there was a creek there. I mean, I think I had to have at one point known that at the Bayshore Golf Course, but that's a salmon stream there.
yeah,
And-
yep, supports a pretty healthy run and chum. You can
Really?
smell it as you drive up and down Highway 3 in the
Oh, yeah.
fall. And but yeah, it's a great restoration that the land
Can
trust
I
worked
fish
on.
those salmon?
Can you fish those salmon?
I'm not sure off the top of my head if Johns Creek is open. I'm going to guess probably not at the moment.
Probably not. So
Yeah, definitely not now, but
we'll wait till we
Yeah.
come back through here and
Yeah.
get the proper permitting. and all
That's
that stuff.
awesome.
definitely.
Do you guys have any sense, looking at historical photos, if there even are any, of what Bayshore, that property, could likely look like eventually once Mother Nature really takes over? I know there's been a lot of regrowth already, but even just kind of the sandbars out there, just the beaches.
Yeah, so with most restoration sites, and especially nearshore ones that take place like in an estuary, for instance, a lot of them are restored using old T-sheets as reference points. So those are things that were developed early on in the 1900s and some even earlier, but give you an idea of what the conditions were like prior to us coming in and creating dikes and things like that. Also, there's a lot of great old aerial photos that the Department of Ecology and others have taken as part of kind of their shoreline mapping program. And so, for instance, at least on Hood Canal, I know we can go through and we can look at pictures back into the 40s and 50s and just track the same spot over decades and see how it's changed. And so I imagine it's pretty similar for Bayshore, and this technology is just going to help continue to
pretty
build
cool.
that up and track those changes. And it's really cool what you can do with drones. I was just having a conversation with someone at Green Diamond not too long ago about how they're using drones now to do forest inventory, and it's allowing them to inventory so much more, so much quicker, safer, everything. It's great. They're using
They're
these
able to
to
see the individual trees in like a square foot,
Yeah.
square mile radius or something.
yeah, they can measure the
Amazing.
canopy, the diversity, all sorts of things like that. That's pretty cool.
That's
And there's got to be some kids, in the schools that are like so excited to
gotta
do
be
this.
kids lining up to join these programs.
Well, this is actually this will be part of their classroom experience, but we'll be starting an after-school program hopefully in the next month or so, which will be drone coding, where they will code the flight paths of small drones, and they'll learn how to do that using a computer. And this drone uses GPS, so you can actually use Google Maps to program its flight path.
So it'll stay within a certain area.
Exactly. You don't have to worry about somebody manually flying it off track or something. You can, say very specific on its flight path and its mission, and it comes back and
That's cool.
has 4K video.
And going back to the jobs thing, that's kind of the bigger goal for us in
Yes.
this grant is not only to inspire kids and get more kids outside learning, enjoying it, but ultimately we want them to hopefully pursue a career in natural resources, because eventually we're going to need the next generation to step up and be our
Absolutely.
stewards. And without that, we can't really sustain all the investments we've made in habitat restoration and salmon recovery. And we're talking millions and millions and millions of dollars. And
Tech is a major portion
Exactly.
of it now. It really is becoming enveloped in it. Huh.
definitely.
Seth,
awesome.
Michael, good to see you guys.
Thanks for
Good
having us.
information. That's
Thank you very
fun.
much.
Good to see you.
Thank you.